She slammed the mop into the marble floor, and the water splashed across the dead man's shoes. The penthouse was silent except for the hum of the city 40 floors below and the drip of blood from the kitchen counter. She hated this job. She hated the men who made messes like this and walked away. Most of all, she hated him, the Korean Mafia boss son, because his father's name was the reason her uncle's shop had burned 3 years ago. She didn't know he was standing in the doorway watching her. "You missed a spot," he said. His voice was low, lazy, like he'd just woken up from a nap while someone else bled out in his living room. She didn't turn. "Then fire me." He stepped inside and the glass under his shoe cracked. "Can't. My father hired you personally. He likes your work, says you clean like you're erasing sin." She wrung the mop until her knuckles went white. "I clean because nobody else will touch your family's filth." He laughed once. "Good, keep hatting me, it's safer for you." That was the first time she spoke to Lee Min-yi, 27, heir to the Deason syndicate, and the man she had promised herself she would never forgive. The next morning she returned at 6 a.m. because the contract said daily, before sunrise, no exceptions. The blood was gone. The furniture was replaced. It looked like a showroom again, except for the smell. Lemon disinfectant couldn't cover copper. She opened the balcony doors to let the wind in and found him there, smoking, shirtless, a long scar cutting from his collarbone to his ribs. "You're early," she said. "You're trespassing," he answered. "This is my bedroom." "Your bedroom was a crime scene 12 hours ago. I'm the reason it isn't anymore." He exhaled and the smoke curled around her. "What's your name, black cleaner?" She wore all black because the agency required it. Black pants, black polo, black cap pulled low. The other cleaners called her that because she never gave her real name. "It's on the contract your father signed." "I don't read contracts, I read people." He flicked the cigarette over the balcony. "You flinch when you hear my last name." "I flinch when I hear lies." He stepped closer. She could smell the soap on his skin, expensive, cedar and something darker. "Then we have something in common." She wanted to shove the mop into his chest. Instead she said, "I'm here to clean, not talk." "Talk while you clean. I'm bored." "I'm not your entertainment." "No," he said. "You're my punishment, I think. Father says I need to understand consequences, so he gave me you." She pushed past him and dragged the bucket into the bathroom. The mirror was shattered. She started picking glass with gloved hands. He followed and leaned on the doorframe. "Who was he?" he asked. "Who was who?" "The man who died here." She stopped. "You don't know." "I was in Busan. I came back to a body and a black cleaner." "Ask your father." "I'm asking you." She dropped a shard into the trash. "He was a gambler, owed your father 40 million won, paid with his tongue first, then his life." Min-yi was quiet for a long time. "You say it like you were here." "I clean after, I always know." He crouched across from her, too close. "What else do you know about me, black cleaner?" "That you drink until you forget your name. That you've crashed 3 cars and your father bought the cops. That you hate him more than I do." His jaw ticked. "You don't know anything." "Then prove it." She stood and pulled off one glove, then the other. "But you won't, because it's easier to be the monster they expect." He grabbed her wrist. Not hard, but fast enough that the bucket tipped and soapy water ran between their shoes. "Don't." "Don't what?" "Pretend you understand me." "I don't want to understand you," she said. "I want to finish this floor and go home." He let go like she'd burned him. "Finish it then." She did. She didn't look at him again. But when she left, there was an envelope on top of her supply cart. No name. Inside was cash, 3 times her weekly pay, and a note in sharp handwriting, for the things you don't say out loud. She took the money. She needed it. Her mother's hospital bills didn't care about pride. But she burned the note in the sink that night and watched the ash turn the water gray. The second week, the messes got worse. Not blood, other things, broken plates, red wine on white carpet, a chandelier pulled from the ceiling. Each time he was there, waiting, saying nothing, just watching her work. She started talking to fill the silence because silence made her think, and thinking made her remember her uncle's hands, how they shook when he tried to rebuild. "You do this on purpose," she said on Thursday, scrubbing wine from silk. "Do what?" "Destroy things so I have to come back." He sat on the stairs, elbows on his knees. "Maybe I like the company." "You don't even like yourself." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "True, but you hate me enough for both of us, it's efficient." She threw the rag into the bucket. "Why do you care what I think?" "Because you look at me like I'm already dead. Everyone else looks at me like I'm a wallet." "You are a wallet, with legs." He stood. "Say it again when you're not cashing my father's checks." "I will," she said, "on the day I stop." That night she got a text from an unknown number. "Roof, midnight, come alone or don't come." She shouldn't have gone. She told herself she was going to tell him to stop the games. She took the stairs because the elevator felt like a trap. The wind on the roof was cold. He was there, sitting on the ledge, legs dangling over 40 stories. "Are you going to jump?" she asked. "Would you stop me?" "No." He laughed. "Honest, I like that." He patted the concrete beside him. "Sit." "I'm not suicidal." "I'm not asking you to jump. I'm asking you to see." She sat, but far enough that she could shove him if she needed to. The city stretched out, endless light. "My father killed your uncle," he said. No preamble, no apology. Her breath caught. "You knew." "I know everything that happens in that building. I just pretend I don't so I can sleep." "Then why tell me now?" "Because I'm tired of you looking at me and seeing him." He finally looked at her. "I'm not him." "You're his son. You live in his house. You spend his money. And you clean his blood. Does that make you a killer?" She stood. "I'm leaving." "Wait." He grabbed her jacket. 3 years ago I was in rehab. I didn't even know Busan from Seoul. My father used my name to sign the order. I found out last month." "Why should I believe you?" "You shouldn't." He let go. "But I'm going to burn his empire down, and I need someone who doesn't flinch." She wanted to spit. She wanted to cry. She did neither. "I'm a cleaner, not a soldier." "You're already in the war." He said, "You just don't know which side you're on." The third week, the jobs changed. No more penthouse. Now it was warehouses, back rooms of clubs, a yacht with bullet holes in the hull. She cleaned, and he was always there, not making messes but making plans. He talked. She listened. Sometimes she talked back. "My name is Ada," she said one night, scrubbing a steel table. "My uncle raised me when my parents died. He was the only person who ever called me brave." Minyi was counting bullet casings into an evidence bag, his hands stilled. "Ada!" He said it like he was testing the shape of it. "I'm sorry about your uncle, Ada." "Don't." "Don't what?" "Don't say his name like you knew him." He nodded. "Okay, then I'm sorry I didn't stop my father." "You couldn't." "I can now." She looked up. "How?" He pulled a flash drive from his pocket. "Every deal, every bribe, every body. He kept records. I took them." Her heart kicked. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I need you to keep it. If something happens to me, you send it to the prosecutor, not the police. The police are his." She didn't take it. "Why me? You have men." "Men can be bought. You hate me too much to be bought." She took the drive. It was warm from his body. "If you're lying, I'll use it on you too." "Fair." The escalation wasn't slow after that. Deason's men started following her home. She found a camera in her apartment. Minyi moved her into a safe house without asking. She punched him for it. He didn't block. "You don't get to decide where I live," she said, blood on her knuckles. "You're alive, aren't you?" he said, touching his split lip. "Argue with me tomorrow." She stayed. They fought like fire and gasoline. About strategy, about mercy, about the fact that he still flinched when he heard his father's voice on the phone. She taught him how to disappear in a crowd. He taught her how to tell a lie without blinking. "I used to think you were weak," she said one night, stitching a cut on his arm. The safe house smelled like iron and antiseptic. "I am weak," he said. "That's why I need you." You don't need me. You want absolution. Can I want both? She tied the thread. No. He caught her hand before she pulled away. Ada, look at me. She did. His eyes were tired but not cruel, not like his father's. What? If I burn it all down, will you still hate me? She thought about her uncle, about the shop, about the 3 years she'd spent scrubbing other people's sins. I don't know, she said, but I'm starting to hate myself for hopping you're not like him. He brought her hand to his mouth and pressed a kiss to her knuckles. It wasn't romantic, it was a promise. Then hope, I'll do the rest. The raid happened on a Tuesday. Minnie's plan was simple: leak the drive, force his father into the open, let the prosecutor move. But Deason knew. He always knew. Ada was cleaning the yacht alone when they came. 4 men, guns, no words. She fought with a mop handle and a broken bottle in rage. She took 2 of them down before the 3rd hit her in the ribs with a bat. She went down hearing Minnie's name, not her uncle, and that terrified her. She woke in a basement. Concrete cold, a single bulb. Minnie was across from her, chained to a pipe, face bloody. You came, he said, voice raw. You're an idiot, she said, her ribs were screaming. This was the plan, get caught. The plan was to keep you out of it. Failed. Deason walked in then. Older, sharper, wearing a suit that cost more than her mother's hospital. He looked at Ada like she was dirt on his shoe. So this is the black cleaner, he said. The one my son thinks is a weapon. She's not part of this, Minnie said. Let her go. Deason crouched in front of Ada. You hate me, don't you? Good, hate keeps people alive. He stood. Break her fingers, 1 for every year my son has disappointed me. The first man grabbed her hand. Stop, Minnie thrashed and the pipe rattled. Father, stop. I'll sign, I'll take the fall, I'll do whatever you want. Deason smiled. You already have, you loved her. That was the last thing I needed. Ada spat at his feet. You don't know what love is. Maybe not, Deason said, but I know what fear is. He nodded to the man. The door blew in. Gunfire, shouting, glass. Minnie's men, the ones he'd been converting for months, poured in. Ada used the chaos to drive her forehead into the man holding her. His nose broke. She took his knife, cut her ropes, and threw it. It hit Deason in the shoulder, not a kill shot. She wanted him to feel it. Minnie was free in seconds, pulling her behind him. Go. Not without you. They ran, bullets chased them. On the street, sirens, the prosecutor had moved. The drive had been sent. Deason was arrested on the docks, bleeding, furious, screaming his son's name. It should have been over. It was. 3 months later, Ada stood in her uncle's rebuilt shop. Real wood, real glass, her name on the lease. Minnie had paid for it. Anonymous, she knew anyway. He found her there, hands dusty from stocking shelves. He was thinner, hair shorter, a scar on his cheek she hadn't put there. You reopened, he said. I did. You could have left the country. I gave you money. I don't want your money. He nodded. I'm leaving. Tonight, new identity, new life. The prosecutor cut a deal if I disappear. Good, she said. You should. He stepped inside. I came to say thank you and sorry, and he stopped. And I love you. She froze. The words were too big for the little shop. Don't. I know, you hate me. I did, she said. I hated you because hating you was easier than grieving him. Hating you gave me a target. But you took the bullet, Minnie. You burned your name to give me mine back. He looked at the floor. Doesn't change what my father did. No, she said, but it changes what you did. She walked to him and pressed the flash drive into his hand. She kept a copy. You don't get to disappear and decide you're a martyr. You stay. You help me rebuild. You clean. He stared at her. You want me to be your cleaner? I want you to be a man who stays, she said. Can you do that? He dropped to his knees. Not dramatic, just tired, just real. I've never stayed for anything. Stay for me. He closed his eyes. Ada. Say my name again. Ada. She pulled him up. Then start with the windows. They're filthy. He laughed, broken and alive. Yes, boss. They didn't kiss, not yet. There was too much blood between them for easy romance, but he picked up a rag, and she stood beside him. And for the first time since her uncle died, the smell of lemon didn't make her think of death. It made her think of beginning. If this story had you holding your breath, do me a favor. Hit asterisk like so I know you want part 2. Subscribe because Ada and Minyi aren't done, and the next chapter has more fire than the first. And comment asterisk below. Do you forgive Minyi, or is hate still the only thing keeping Ada safe? I read everyone. Don't leave me on read. The cleaner and the Mafia son have more stains to wash out. See you in the next episode.